Hi, I'm Mike, lead developer of Redwood, a framework built on top of Unreal Engine 5 that allows studios of any size to create and launch scalable multiplayer games easily. In this specific video, we are covering a overview of the architecture of the infrastructure that Redwood provides as you deploy your game to a cloud provider. Here I have a diagram to explain uh, just kind of a rough concept of what your architecture might look like. Um, I've in past videos talked about reference words like directors and realms, and we'll be covering that in this video. So at the beginning, a player downloads a game client, and optionally before that, they download a game launcher. The game launcher is an example that we provide for you that you can customize. Uh, that will allow players to install the game from like an S3 bucket or another storage media place of your choice, or and as well as patch the game when there are updates. And then from there, they can either launch the game from there or launch the game from another location like Steam can directly launch the game, and you can do your patches through Steam if you choose to do so. From there, the game client will connect to a thing called the director. The director is a Node.js program sitting in a container that's managed by Kubernetes. Kubernetes is an orchestration platform um, that makes it easy for you to manage various different containers in a cloud environment. We won't go over too much about Kubernetes in this video, but we will have follow-up documentation and tutorials that kind of gives you an introduction to Kubernetes. But you can think of it as a Node.js program. It's just some program written in TypeScript that is running on some server. It's always running 24/7, and players connect to it using some built in hard coded URL, IP address, something like that in your game to say, hey, director, I am this client. I would like to authenticate. I have this email and this password. Any making new accounts will also go to the director, those authentication requests and things like that. And the director manages those sessions. It says, okay, yeah, you're authenticated, or no, you need to verify your email still. Here, I'll send you an email. And then finally, when they get that full process done and they're authenticated, the director will say, okay, great, here you go. Here's a token. Here's your session. You are a valid user. And from there, all that stuff is stored in a database for the director using MongoDB. And um, if a player wants to say, hey, okay, I want to play this game, well, the director doesn't actually have any Unreal Engine instances, no servers running underneath it. It's just a light client that kind of helps get the game client to where they want to go. So they'll say, director, please give me a list of all of the realms that are available. And it will give a list of realms. And then finally, a player can say, okay, great, I want to connect to this realm. And the director helps you connect to that realm. Before we get into that, let's talk about what a realm is. Well, a realm is just an abstract concept in place of the term game server. And this is because in some types of genres, like an MMORPG, you have more than one game server running as part of a single realm. Specifically, instance servers. You have this main server that has the whole open world, but then you're going to do a raid with your party, and you want to get into this instance server that goes over just that raid, and the players get transferred to that server to do the raid, and then they get transferred back to the main server. And so instead of using the word server here, since there's more than one server, the realm is the entire concept that includes the player's character, all of the stats, their inventory, all of those things are stored in the realm database, a separate database for an MMORPG. You can simplify this down to one for some types of genres like a racer or something like that, where usually it's kind of like, well, all servers are kind of an instance server in a sense. Anyways, you can make it so the realm is ephemeral. It comes up, it comes down, and things like that. And you can store all of that data in the director database if you choose to do so. But like in an MMORPG, You can have this extra realm database to manage just that character's inventory, stats, etc. Um, and before you even get to these servers, the director has to tell the game client, "Oh, hey, here is the Realm controller, another Node.js application written in TypeScript that is just a lightweight intermediary to tell the game client, oh, here's um, the main game server, or later down the road, if you want to get into an instance server, the Realm controller helps do the handshake between that game server and the instance server. And so the you can, when you say, hey, where are the realms, it says, hey, here's a Realm controller, go connect to that Realm controller. It then connects to that Realm controller. From there, the Realm controller say, hey, okay, great. The server is at this IP and port, and here is the extra parameters for you to be authenticated into that server. And then the game client then makes a direct connection to the game server on port 777, 47s. This game server then says, okay, great, you're logged into the game, you're playing the game. Now you're using replication inside of Unreal Engine to do most of your networking code. But every now and then, you will ask the Realm controller for some things, but usually it'll go all through the game server using replication. But sometimes the game server needs extra data. How does the game server talk to the database? Well, to make things as flexible and quick for rapid development, we've created another Node.js application that's called a Sidecar. It is attached to inside of the same um, virtual machine that this game server is running on, and it talks directly to the game server, and it can make requests to the database, read or write, um, as well as tell the Realm controller, hey, I've got some players that want this instance server. Do you have one that's available? And the Realm controller is like, no, but I'll let you know in a second. And oh, by the way, here it is. And then it's like, okay, great. Sidecar and the Realm controller the Sidecar will tell the game server to say, hey, players, it's time to go. Here's this replicated data through Unreal Engine to say you got to go over to this new server. Or optionally, you can do it through the Realm controller, and then those players will disconnect from the game server, or they'll do a travel to that new server. And then when it's over, they'll come back through that. So that's what a realm is. It's this idea of a world where characters exist, and there are main game servers, there are instance game servers, and there are other ways that you can implement this for your different types of um, optimization or performance depending on your game. And you can have several realms that all talk through one data director. You can even have multiple directors for load balancing reasons, but they usually try to keep their state as synced as possible. So that's a brief overview of what the architecture looks like for Redwood. There will be a lot more documentation that actually explains how these things connect, how you can customize them. All the code will be open sourced with a Redwood license, and really, the sky is the limit of how you use it. If you're interested in using Redwood, right now we're still in development, but you can get early access by signing up at redwood.encanta.games. By putting something in there, you tell us that what your time frame is, and we'll work with you to get you access as soon as possible. Well, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next video. Thanks.